Alrighty, we are back for another Fusion 360 sheet metal instructional video. What we're going to do today is we're going to take an existing 5mm thick sheet metal rectangle and we're going to add some parts to it. We're going to do some holes and we're going to round some edges. So what we've got is a simple rectangle. I've gone ahead, I've made the rectangle, I've pressed flange, and we've made it 5mm thick in our sheet metal. So this is what we've got. Now the previous video goes through how to get something to this stage. Now we're going to go ahead and modify it. Now, as always, to draw anything anywhere, you have to use your create sketch button. So create the sketch, select the surface you want to sketch on. Now what we actually want to do is we want to add a little thing that comes off here with a hole in it. So we're just going to get our circle tool. So I've gone ahead and pressed C for circle, that's the shortcut. You can also get it from up here in the create section, see C for circle. So what we want to do is, let's do a 10mm hole, and we want to do maybe a 22mm perimeter. Now I want to join this all together and join it in from here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our line tool. Line can also be L on the keyboard, and let's bring it in until we get it to snap to a tangent. Same for the top corner, bring it in, snap to a tangent. Alright, so we've got a sketch that's coming off the edge of our sheet metal body. Now we want to make this join, and there's two ways to do it, and I'm going to go through both ways. Now the first way is in the sheet metal area here. You can use your flange tool again, and if you click that and click that, you'll see that it's actually created it on the opposite face. Now over here we have orientation in the flange area. If you click side 2, it'll bring it down to the other plane and press OK. Now this is where we start to learn about body. So for example, we can turn the body on and off using the little eye icon over here, or you can turn this one off. So body 1, body 2. Now we want to make this one body. Now this is where you'll notice in the previous video I said we don't really use these ones, but we will use them every now and then. So we want to go over to solid when we're joining these together. And there's a tool that says combine. Now basically this makes two bodies that intersect one. So we click this one, click OK. Now you can see over here it says one body, and it has selected the entire thing because it's now one body. So I'll just go back to this one. Alright, so that was one way to do it, and this is the next way. Now this way is probably a bit faster, but I mean each one has its own little quirks. A good thing with using the flange one is when you create it, it won't automatically join a bunch of things together. It'll just make the flange, and then you can go ahead and join it to whatever component you want. Now this isn't much of a big thing when you've only got a single body, but when you've got multiple bodies and they all kind of touch each other and you use flange, it won't combine them all automatically. If you use the extrude tool, which is what I'm going to do now, so you now have to go -5 because you're going down. Now it's created it. And over here it says join. So by it saying join, it doesn't know whether you want to join this one, or if we had a piece that's, going vertical that intersected, if it was going to join that. So you have to make sure that it's not, when you press join, it's only going to join the part that you want. So in this case, worked perfectly fine. Now to sort of show an example of what I mean by the other one, I'll just do a quick example. And show you what I mean. So for example, if we had another body that was kind of here, so like this for example, we had some kind of layout like that, and we went, now you can see over here we've got two bodies at the moment, and see how it intersects the other part. If we press OK, it's now made that whole thing one. So if you do have an additional part that you don't want to get connected, you simply come over here and turn it off. If you can't see it, it can't connect to it. Now we've got that over here, but it's not connected. You can see that it's like that. Now if you press the M tool, M equals move, and that allows you to move things on 3 axes as well as rotate them. If I can pull that down now and it doesn't interfere with the top part. Now I'm going to just get this back to where we were originally. Alright, so that's the part so far. Now we want to go ahead and make these surfaces, these corners here, we want to give them a nice round feature. So what we got to do is, you can either find it up here, fillet, or you can press F on the keyboard. So I'm going to press F, and you just select the edges that you want to make round. In a sheet metal workspace, if you were to click this and make it something like that, you wouldn't be able to cut it, because the machine only works on a 2D area. So for example, what you can see here, if you were to fillet this, the machine, I don't actually think you would be able to export it for laser cutting anyway. Convert to flat pattern here, create flat pattern would have a fit and it wouldn't like it. So we just want to do these surfaces here, and 10 would probably work well here. So that's it, done. You can select more than one surface and you're done. Now obviously this one here is another one. It's only going to be tiny because it's not very angled. So that's the use of fillets, as well as adding extra geometry. Now let's just touch quickly on, I'm going to just remove those fillets for this next one. Let's just touch quickly on how to create flanges. So let's just say I want to bend these 3 surfaces, and we want to get it, we want to create a shape like that. Now you'll see it's gone all crazy and half cut the circle out, and there are a bit of gaps in here. If we were to just go adjacent, see how that pretty much sorts the hole out. Now that's a pretty good way to do it. Now let's just press enter. Now you'll notice here the gap here is a bit too big for my liking for welding. I want to make this a bit closer, so it's just as easy as going, I like to do it kind of from this angle, extrude, bring it up to just below this area here, and press enter, and do the same for this one, extrude, and bring it out, just so that they're like that. If you make these parts touch with extrude, it will join them, and then you won't be able to create a flat pattern. So, there's a little gap there, which is perfect for the amount of weld. Obviously this area here will generally fill in pretty well with a weld, considering this is quite a small part. If this part was massive, then obviously that would be quite a big hole, but this part, this is the measure tool here. If you wanted to measure what things are, from that line to that line is only 4 millimeters, so this would be quite a small hole. So we go ahead and do the same for this. So extrude, drag it out to just visually below that area. Do the same for this one. And that is it all sorted. Now, another cool thing is if you wanted to put a hole in this surface, for example, to run a cable through or mount something to, you could go ahead and do a hole. Let's just do an 8.5 mil hole. Now we want to make this hole go through everything. It's just a matter of going and just keep dragging. See how it goes through the next one. Press enter, and there you go. You've got a hole that goes through both parts. Now, these parts here, we'll go ahead and fillet those, and you can just drag it to whatever looks good as well. You don't have to put a measurement in. So there we go. We've got something where you can go ahead and do that. Now we want to put a bit of text in here, so we have to create a sketch, and we want to add some text. Now there are a few text options in Fusion. Some of them are suited to doing this, some of them aren't. So let's just use something, generally something that's quite bold is good, because obviously the laser can cut it well. And let's just write test. Then you can drag it around, extrude it. So our material is 5 mil thick, so if we go -5, that gets us the whole way through. Now, a good example is a letter that has a confined middle. So for example, A, how it's got the little part in the top that will fall out if you cut it, or O, the part in the middle will fall out when you cut it, D, P, anyway, that'll work. So let's just pretend we're Spanish and it's testo. So if we go and extrude this, -5, you'll see we've got a middle section here. Now if you were to laser cut this, it would fall out. If you wanted to etch this, it would only do the exterior, because this is actually saying, hey, I'm an extra body. So what you want to do is you want to use a rectangle. So you can press R for rectangle, and you can click on this surface here, and that will automatically create a sketch using the rectangle. Or you can press create sketch up the top, click on the surface, click rectangle, and if you wanted to etch this, this is a perfect example of how to do it. You only need a really, really, really small join to make it etch that center circle. If you wanted to make this so it would stay in there, you'd have to use something a bit bigger. And then -5 in extrude. And that is how you make the center of letters come in. You use the rectangle tool and extrude to make a little bridge to make them join. So that is the next episode done on sheet metal. Hope you're getting a bit of knowledge out of this. The more you play around with it, the better you'll get. So I would encourage you to watch this video back again, sit with Fusion for half an hour, and just follow this step by step. Pause the video as we go, and before you know it, you'll be creating sheet metal parts in a matter of no time. So make sure you subscribe to the page. Make sure you head over and check out the LaserCorp website. Now LaserCorp does online laser cutting, where you can create parts in Fusion 360 like this, and then you can upload your parts to the LaserCorp website, get an instant quote, place an order, and then LaserCorp will cut and ship your parts generally within 48 hours, unless it is a bigger order, and express post them out to you. So make sure you check out lasercorp.com.au. Have a good one. See you on the next video.